Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome in to this playoff game. The Hopkinton Hillers and Quincy here in this preliminary game in the Division II bracket. The Hillers in the white. Quincy is in the dark blue. Tom Nappy on the call. Joe Frackleton on camera here on this very humid afternoon for Hiller Girls Lacrosse playoffs. And this Hiller Girls Lacrosse team came up with a bunch of wins down the stretch to get here, and they're going to start off with a nice score to make it 1-0 on the goal for the Hillers. That was Emily Hayward striking. 45 seconds into action, a good start for the Hillers. And this game was just scheduled yesterday, as both schools had some obstacles to work around with graduations and senior events coming up for both schools. So we are fortunate that they were able to get the game in here today. Hillers with the 1-0 lead. Emily Hayward with the first score. Quincy now with possession, working right to left across your screen. With it is Lily Cantramboni, a sophomore. Along the near side now, Sienna Nickel gets it over. And that is Delia Nickel with it. She takes a shot, and a good save there by Morgan Arnold. Your goaltender matchup, Morgan Arnold for the Hillers, Taya Quinn for Quincy. Quincy coming up the near side, Sienna Nickel with it. She's a freshman, gets it over. Very strong bracket in Division II. We'll talk about that a bit later in the broadcast. Trying to rush in. There's a shot and a good save by Arnold. Morgan Arnold has been absolutely fantastic in net for the Hillers this season, and she's helped them pull off some big wins. Quincy looking to come in again. There's a shot. Yes. And we are knotted up at one apiece. That was Sierra Follin with the score. Sierra Follin, a sophomore, makes it 1-1 at 22:39 left to go here in the first half. Looks like we might have a nice even matchup here. The Hillers were just 6-12 on this season, but they play up in a lot of their regular season games, which helped them rack up enough points to get into the postseason and to grab the 32 seed over 33-seeded Quincy. Quincy finished the season 13-7, but a lot of their respected league is amongst Division III teams and younger teams, so not as many points available during the regular season play. As the Hillers work it around, looking to rush in there. There's Arena with it. Arena tried to slip in there, but was boxed out by a couple of defenders. Takes it back out. Trying to take it in. There's a shot by Bouvier. And a good save by the goalie, Taya Quinn. Is Quincy trying to work it upfield? And they have it coming up into Hiller territory quickly. With it, that is number 7, Sierra Follin. This is going to be one of those games that you got to keep your foot on the gas all the way through to try to come up with the win in this one. And we get a score. So Quincy grabs the lead. That is Grace Connor, a junior. She makes it 2-1 at 21:10 left to go. So back to midfield we go. Face-off's going to be important in this game. Certainly want to try to get control as much as you can. And these are two pretty high-scoring teams doing battle here today. We have a whole slew of Hiller teams in the postseason. Boys and girls tennis both in. Girls tennis just got a win on the road to advance to the Sweet 16. So a great start for Hiller teams in the playoffs as Arena with it. Takes the shot, puts it in. Jamie Arena evens it out at 2 apiece. Well, it looks like we might get a bit of a shootout in this game. This could be a wild one. It's always interesting where with the state format, you get postseason teams that you often don't see during the regular season. Back to the face-off circle we go. So we've had 4 goals in the first 4 minutes and 7 seconds. So we're averaging about a goal a minute. We'll see if that trend continues. That was kind of the trend of the Hillers Ashland game for their senior day game. A lot of scoring at first, but then it kind of dwindled down, became more of a defensive affair. Ashland ended up taking the win in that game. Out in front, there's a shot, deflected. Arnold deflects it in the air, and that was dangerous. Nearly put it in her own net. But it was blown dead, so it is Hiller ball. Arnold looking to get rid of it. I can tell you one thing, our next HCAM broadcast will be this coming Monday at 5 p.m. We'll have Hiller baseball, and their opponent is still to be determined. That's 5 p.m. on Monday. Arena with it, sends it over, loose ball. Good battle for it. Hiller's able to maintain, picked up by Tarigny. Scanovan with it, gets it over to Hayward. Hiller is going to work it around, try to find an opening. Well, coaches Valerie Hickey and Caitlin Wedemeyer have done a great job with this Hiller team. They have just gotten substantially better as the season has gone on. With it is Scanovan. Gets it over, trying to take it in as Hayward. A number of defenders trying to chase her down and knock it out of her possession. Arena with the shot, and that is in. Another Jamie Arena score makes it 3-2. So the Hillers net another one at 19:08 left to go. It is a beautiful sunny day. Temperatures in the high 80s. At last check, it was 87 degrees. One of the hottest days of spring so far this year. But I'd say certainly good conditions to be out there on the lacrosse field. Although I'm sure that turf is pretty hot. Picked up by Quincy as Caroline Tracy collects. Along the far side, Campbell. And we get another Quincy score. Good feed from Campbell over to Grace Connor, who puts it in. A 3-3 game at 18:50 left to go. Back and forth we go here in this preliminary game. Yeah, this looks like, so far, we're only a few minutes into it, but very even matchup between these two teams. And it looks like they have similar styles of offense and good shooters on both sides. We could see a lot of scoring here today. Quincy approaching, taking it up as Maddie Case gets it over. Quincy looking to strike again over to Case. She dropped it, loose ball. Battle for it, and picked up by Quincy. There's a shot deflected by Arnold. I believe getting that shot off was Grace McGillicuddy. McGillicuddy with it, and now along the side of the net, Nickel. And knocked loose out in front. Hillers have it. Good turnover drawn up there. Hillers looking to work it up the near side. Dacey. Gets it over to Hayward. Here's Dacey. And it's out to Bouvier. Hillers going to be patient here. Every score is going to be important in this one. Looking to close in, Arena. Gets it back to Hayward. Hayward closing in, trying to work past the defenders, off the crossbar. And the Hillers maintain as Tarigny pulls it down. Just at another centimeter a bit down, you had a score there. Fortunately for the Hillers, they maintain possession. Looking to close in. With it is Scanovan, gets it over. Bouvier puts it in. A great score there for Rachel Bouvier, the freshman. Hillers have the lead once again, 4-3 at 16:37 left to go in the first half. So already we've seen 4 lead changes in this one. Here comes Quincy. Along the near side, that's Sienna Nickel. Gets it over, looking to approach. And is that in? Yes, it is. Grace McGillicuddy with the 4th goal of the day for Quincy. And we're knotted back up at 4 apiece. 16:11 left to go in the first half. Off the face-off. Along the far side is Arena. Gets it over to Turigny. Hayward with it. Dacey back to Hayward, and now Hiller's going to work it around. And knocked out of the grasp of Arena. Hiller's maintained possession. Hiller's going to be patient here. And when you have these games that are going back and forth, every possession is going to matter. Quincy gets the turnover. Lily Kintraboni with it. And nice job getting in there by the Hillers defenders, but it stays with Quincy. Quickly coming up the field, Maddie Case. And ball comes out. Hillers get it back. Picked up by Saneed Her. And she'll pass up to Hayward. Now Turigny. Gets it over to Arena. Hiller girls lacrosse have had some success in these preliminary games over the last few years. They're hoping to move on to the round of 32 here, and they get another score. Great feed over to Emma Dacey, who puts it in. That makes it a 5-4 game at 14:06 left to go. And just doing a quick look at my score sheet, I'd say that's about the longest period of time we didn't have a score. Action-packed battle. Off the face-off. Hillers have it. Good win in the face-off circle there. With it is Scanovan. Over to Rosendale. Now Kendall Tom. Apologies, folks. I mistakenly said this is a Division II matchup. It's a Division I matchup. Hillers moved up to Division I this year as Michaela Scanovan pops it in. Great feed to Scanovan. And she makes it 6-4 at 13:25 left to go. Now this Quincy defense having a very hard time stopping the Hillers. The Hillers just racking up the scores. And that's really been the difference. The Hillers have been able to draw up some turnovers and stop this Quincy team on a couple possessions. And Quincy has struggled a little bit stopping this potent Hiller offense. Off the face-off, big face-off here. Good battle for it. And it's going to be rewarded to Quincy. So this is a Division I preliminary game. The winner of this game will head over to Lincoln Sudbury to take on the number 1 seed. It'll certainly be a tough battle against 16-2 Lincoln Sudbury. But in these postseason games, anything is possible. And any team can win at any time. We've seen a lot of upsets throughout the playoffs with the state format. And the state format, I like it. It's been great. You get some great matchups, and it's more even throughout the various playoffs. You used to have sectionals that featured more teams than other sectionals, which meant certain teams would have to play more games to get to the Final Four in the state, but not anymore. With the state format, everybody's playing the same amount. Of course, unless you have a preliminary game, you'll play one extra. But that's why it's important to try to rack up those wins to avoid those preliminary games. But preliminary games could also be a huge help as Quincy working it up the field over to Matty Case. There's a shot deflected. Good job by Arnold. Could also be a huge boost as teams that aren't in those games are typically taking a little over a week off since their last game, and sometimes if a team has good momentum going, that could interfere with it. So if the Hillers are able to get through this game and keep playing like they are, I think they're going to be in good shape for Lincoln Sudbury. But a long way to go in this one. With it is Nickel. Over along the far side now. We're going to stoppage here at 11:06 left. It looks like we're going to have a timeout call. A 6-4 game in favor of the Hillers. We're in the first half. 11:06 left to go. Timeout on the field. We'll take one as well. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Girls Varsity Playoff Lacrosse on HCAM. We are off the hydration break for both teams. 11:06 left to go in the first half. A 6-4 game in favor of the Hillers. It's been a good back and forth battle. It'll be Quincy ball here off the stoppage. Campbell gets it in. Delia Nickel with it. Looking to approach. And a good save there by Arnold. Arnold launches it up the far side. It's intercepted. Good interception there by Fem. Quincy looking for a well-needed point here as it's deflected away. We'll get a reset. It looks like we're going to have a penalty here. I believe it is going to be against Delia Nickel. So I believe it was a holding call is what I'm hearing from the field. Hiller ball. Here comes the Hillers. Looking for a quick score here. Good feed. And some great passing by the Hillers. As Emma Dacey puts it in. It was Michaela Scanovan, a great feed. And then I believe it was Jamie Arena feeding it to Dacey. And Dacey grabs the score. The score comes at 10:01 left to go here in the first half. 7-4 Hiller lead. Biggest lead of the day so far for the Hillers. As we go off the face-off, Hillers looking to pour it on. And it's going to go over to Quincy. It is the Quincy High School Presidents. Quincy Presidents. There's a shot, and it was wide. Quincy maintains possession. She had a nickel with it. Along the far side is Grace Connor. Looking to approach. Good defense by the Hillers. They're not really letting Quincy find any open gaps. And the Hillers getting a big turnover here. Momentum starting to push towards the Hiller way. And ball loose at midfield. Quincy gets it back, picked up by Tracy. Loose out in front. Hiller's going to get it back. He'll stay with Hopkinton. Along the near side, Hayward. Taking it up, Dacey. Scoop pass over to Bella Silva. Now it is Scanovan with it. Back to Hayward. Closing in on 7.5 minutes left to go here in this opening half. And we have a side out. Goes over to Quincy. We're going to get a little cross-check call there. Caroline Tracy taking it up. Now with it is Grace Connor. Some contact there. Stays with the Presidents of Quincy. Hopkinton Hillers, Quincy Presidents here in this Division I preliminary matchup. Quincy the 33rd seed, the Hillers 32nd seed, as that's deflected. And out of play it goes. Another great save there by Arnold. And Quincy, they've done a good job at keeping possession when they are able to get the ball, but the Hillers defense just doing a great job at letting them try to rush the attack zone. Sends it over out in front. Good battle for it in front of the net. And it's going to the Hillers, awarded to the Hillers as Kelly Hopkins and Campbell had a good battle in front of the net. Here comes Hopkinton. Pass out in front of the net, deflected. And the keeper getting to the end line for Quincy. Taya Quinn able to get there. 5.5 minutes left to go here in this first half. It's been an action-packed game so far. A 7-4 Hiller lead. We certainly wish the best of the Hiller boys lacrosse team. They'll be in action over the weekend over in Longmeadow. Out in front, there's a shot and in. Grace Connor with the score. That score comes at 5:02 left to go here in the first half. First score by either team in quite a while. Makes it a 7-5 game. So we mentioned it before, but I'll mention it again. The winner of this game goes on to take on Lincoln Sudbury. Time and place to be determined. I believe it would likely be next week for that game. But you never know. Could always be a weekend game here in the MIAA playoffs. Quincy looking to approach. Folan with it. Gets it over. Approaching. That shot deflected. On the shot attempt was Grace Connor. Good goalkeeping once again by Morgan Arnold. Here comes the Hillers. And it's knocked loose. Quincy gets it back. Taken by Nickel. With it is McGillicuddy. And that shot deflected. Quincy able to maintain possession. Folan with it. And the Hopkinton High School senior class, they got their awards tonight. Certainly wish them a very nice awards ceremony. And that'll be broadcast on HCAM. We'll have it live on HCAM. I believe that starts at 5:30 tonight. And of course, tomorrow night it is the big day. The class of 2023 will make their commencement. You can catch the graduation ceremony live on HCAM. That'll start at 6 p.m. tomorrow. There's a shot and a great save by Arnold. That was Myreed Folan on the shot. Looking to get rid of it is Arnold. Feeds it up over to Burke. Or correction, that is Bolster. Katie Bolster in there. Here comes Laura Mosier along the far side. She feeds it up and trying to rush into Rigney. 3 minutes and counting left to go here in the first half. Schuster with it, and she'll tries to get it over to Goodman. It's knocked loose. Well, you notice Coach Hickey and Wedemeyer getting everybody in there. They want to rest their starters as much as possible in this hot weather to make sure they're well energized for the second half. And one thing we've seen with this team a few times this season, such as the game against Ashland, is they get off to a really good start, but then it almost seems like they start to tire out. And Coach Hickey and Wedemeyer are doing a great job making sure that doesn't happen during this postseason game. Pass up by Cantraboni over to Folan. And it is knocked loose. Hillers get it back. Great turnover. I'll tell you what, the Hillers have really stolen some of the momentum of this game. Still a very close game, however. 7-5 score. Hillers haven't scored since about 10 minutes left to go, so it's been a while, as Quincy's defense has really clamped down as well. This is what you get a lot when you have two teams that don't really know each other. At first, they're just trying to feel each other out and figure out the best strategy, but then as the game goes on, they start to figure out that strategy as we get a good save here. Good turnover for Quincy. Maddie Case rushing up the far side. And Arnold with the ball as she'll unleash it. Under a minute left to go here in half number one. Hillers looking to finish the first frame strong. Pass over to Dacey. Now Scanovan. "25 seconds. Hillers going to be patient. They got time. They're going to work it around, try to find a good gap. And it's knocked loose from the grasp of Hayward. 15 seconds left. Hayward feeds it over. There's Scanovan. 8 seconds. And an underhand shot. It's just wide. Kayla Scanovan getting creative there. That'll do it for half number one. At the end of the first half, it is the Hopkinton Hillers 7 and the Quincy Presidents 5. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Girls Varsity Lacrosse on HCAM. Okay. 25 minutes on the clock, and we are ready for the second half. This has been a great battle here, this preliminary matchup in the Division I bracket. 7-5 Hiller lead. It started off with a lot of rapid scoring, but kind of slowed up and became more of a defensive battle in the last few minutes. And we'll see what happens here in this second frame. In the center circle, Rachel Bouvier against Sienna Nickel, and we're underway. Hillers with possession, working right to left across your screen. Tom Nappy, happy to be on the call with you today. Joe Frackleton bearing the hot sun, running camera for us. We're very grateful. Not easy conditions out here today. It is a hot one. And you saw in the first half, and you'll see it again in this half, about midway through the half, they take a mandatory water break. Both teams go to the shade, and they take about a 5-minute water break. And I think that's certainly a good rule on a hot day like today. Jamie Arena with it, trying to close in, and she'll net one. Good start to the second half. The Hillers take the 8-5 lead. Hillers looking to advance in the Division I playoffs to the round of 32 and take on first-seeded Lincoln Sudbury. And the Presidents of Quincy, they are hoping for the same. But they'll have to battle back here. As the Hillers up by 3. We have a little shoe tying stoppage. Let's take you through the Division I bracket while we have a moment. Give you some details about it. You can check it out on the MIAA website. As that ball's knocked loose. So the winner of this game would go take on the first seeded Lincoln Sudbury, and then the winner of that game, they'd meet up with the winner of Hingham and Algonquin. And you got Chelmsford and Lexington in the bracket, Central Catholic, Newton North, Walpole, as well as Acton, Boxborough, Needham, and Reading Memorial. That's all on the same side of the bracket that the Hillers are on. So hopefully they'll have a few playoff games and we'll get to see some of those teams. As the Hillers looking to strike here. Hayward closing in, a little high. It'll go back to Quincy. Or no, actually it's going to stay with the Hillers. They got to the back line just in time. No. All right, it was Quincy. Got a little confused there. Easy to lose that yellow ball sometimes. Putting it into play, Grace Connor. Over to Campbell. Now it's knocked down as trying to scoop it away is Hayward. And it's going Hiller's way. Nice job by Hayward. Here comes the Hillers rushing upfield quick. Good battle for it, knocked loose. It's going to go to Quincy. Pass up over to Nickel. Nickel working the far sideline, gets it over to Sienna Nickel. Couple pairs of relatives on this Quincy team. Rushing in, shot, no, it was just wide. There to scoop it up was Sierra Folan. Knocked loose, Hillers have it. Bouvier with the turnover. Hillers looking to rush in. Arena with it. Back over to Bouvier. And we mentioned this once, we'll mention it again. Hiller playoff coverage continues on Monday. We'll have Hiller Baseball live. Their opponent to be determined. That game will be at 5 p.m. on Monday. And that Division II baseball bracket, certainly a tough bracket. Hillers will have their work cut out for them, but certainly they are going into the playoffs, I would say, with some great momentum after incredible wins, come from behind wins over Westwood and Franklin. There's a shot, and it's in. Michaela Scanovan. Good ball distribution by the Hillers. And Scanovan feeds it in as the Hillers look to pull away. A 9-5 lead at 20:26 left to go in the second half. And on the face-offs, I need her for the Hillers up against Delilah Nickel. We were sad to see the Hiller softball team fell just short of making the playoffs. A tough loss to end their season against Newton North, and they were just outside that top 32 and fell, since they were below 500, could not sneak in, but just short of the postseason. But we certainly congratulate the Hiller softball team on a very good season. And they're a pretty young team with a very bright future in front of them. Loose ball at midfield. Hillers have it. Picked up by Bella Silva. Hillers looking to make some more noise. Pass over by Kendall Tom. And the feed along the middle. Hillers will work it around, try to take some time off that clock and find a good opening. Certainly no rush here with a nice 4-point cushion. Here's Arena looking to charge in. She dropped it. Battle for it. And it's going to Quincy. They'll get the turnover with the body contact. Pass up over to Folan from Cantraboni. Here comes Folan. Feeds it up right in front. Great feed, great shot. Caroline Campbell, the senior, nets one. That makes it a 9-6 game at 19:02 left to go. Rachel Bouvier in the center circle up against Delilah Nickel. Off the face-off. Hillers have it. Picked up by Hayward. And a shot and score, Emma Dacey. Emma Dacey puts the Hillers back up by 4. At 18:48 left to go here in the second half. Well, the Hillers shooting right on cue today. False start. It's going to go to the Hillers. Here's Hayward. Feeds it up over towards Terigny. Terigny goes behind the net to Goodman. Time certainly on the Hillers side. They can burn that clock, work it around, and just wait for the perfect time to try to rush in. Bouvier with it. Scoots it back. Dropped by Dacey. She is able to pick it back up and get it over to Hayward. Good passing by the Hillers. Dacey with it. Over to Hayward. Get a reset here. Rushing in, feeds it over. The Hillers, they are going to pass it around here and take some time off that clock. Hayward puts on a move, takes it. It's just wide. Hillers get to the back line. Out in front, Bouvier. Scoots it back to Scanovan. Hayward. Hillers working it around. Closing in, shot. And no, it looked like, actually, I think it was deflected, but the Hillers maintained. Bouvier over to Hayward, and she was looking to get it over to Bouvier, but it's scooped up by the keeper, Taya Quinn. There's Quincy trying to work it up the far side, but it's loose. Out of play it goes. And it'll stay with Quincy. Hillers have done a good job in the second half, drawing up turnovers. With it is McPhillips. Looking to work it up the far side. And the Hillers get the turnover. Picked up by Burke. Good battle for it. Hayward. Hillers back into clock burning mode. So we approach 15 minutes left to go in the second half. They're going to keep moving it around. They know Quincy going to get a little aggressive to try to get the turnover, especially as it gets later and later into this game. Bouvier takes it, makes it. Great shot by the freshman. Hillers up by 5. That score comes at 14-42. Left to go here in the second half. Hillers up by 5. Bouvier in the center circle for the Hillers. I believe that's Sienna Nickel for Quincy. Knocks it down, picks it up. And the presidents of Quincy have it. Looking to approach. There's a shot, and it's in. A well-needed score for Quincy. Delilah Nickel. Delilah Nickel gets the score, 14-25. Left to go, an 11-6 game. Quincy back within 5, or excuse me, 11-7, back within 4. $14.25 left to go. In a few minutes, you'll see that mandatory hydration stoppage. They do it at about the 10 or 11 minute mark. And they make sure it's a convenient time in the game. Off the face-off. Quincy has it. Caroline Tracy with it. Looking to approach Nickel. Shot wide. Quincy gets to the back line. Maddie Case was there. Pass up by Tracy. And trying to feed it in the middle. Nearly knocked loose. In fact, it was knocked loose, but picked up by McGillicuddy. This Hiller defense doing a good job at covering up the middle of the attack zone. They're making Quincy take a lot of their shots from the outside, and might we get a turnover here? Knocked down by her, picked back up by Nickel. Feeds it in. There's a shot deflected by Arnold, and the Hillers have it, collected by Scanovid. Just under 13 minutes left to go. Here goes Scanovid. Feeds it up. Picked up by Rosendale. Looking to get it to Arena. Pass a little wide. Who's going to get there? I believe that's going to go Quincy's way. Nope, stays with the Hillers. Good job by Arena. Arena kept boxing out the Quincy defender until that ball rolled out of play. Quincy with the last touch. Scanovid. Along the near side, that's Goodman. Gets it behind the net. Loose ball picked up. That is Arena. Just under 12 minutes left to go here in half number 2. Scanovid out to Hayward. Back to Hayward, knocked loose. Quincy has it. Quincy rushing up the field. They know they need to score quick. There's a shot scooped up by Arnold. A good save. Delilah Nickel on the attempt. Here comes the Hillers. With it is Bouvier. And we're going to get the mandatory hydration stoppage. 11:10 left to go here in the second half. The Hopkinton Hillers leading Quincy 11-7 as they look to advance out of the preliminary round to the round of 32 in the MIAA playoffs Division I bracket. You are tuned in to Hopkinton Hillers Girls Varsity Playoff Lacrosse on HCAM. Welcome back into the Hopkinton High School turf fields. 11 minutes, 10 seconds left to go here in the second half. As both teams had the hydration timeout, and we are ready to continue on. Tom Nappy, happy to be on the call with you. Joe Frackleton on camera. And it's been a good battle between these two teams here in this preliminary round of the Division I bracket. Winner will move on to take on first-seeded Lincoln Sudbury. And we'll find out who's going to move on very shortly as we are underway here in the final 11 minutes. Hillers with possession. Hayward with it, gets it over to Bouvier. I'm sure the Hillers were certainly happy to find out that they got that 32 seed and were able to host this preliminary game. Certainly a little bit easier than traveling. Bouvier gets it over. Hayward. Looking to close in. It's knocked loose. As Arena tries to pick it back up. Collected by Scanovid. Looking to feed it to Arena. Swatted away by the keeper who will get it. Hillers have it. Nice job by Tarigny. She hustled to get over there and get it back for the Hillers. Bouvier feeds it over. Knocked loose. It's going Quincy's way. We're under 10 minutes left to go, 9:35 and counting. Quincy going to have to work quick to try to get back into this game. And the Hillers get it back. Great turnover. Saeed Her launches it up the far side. Arena picks it up, trying to turn it upfield. Hillers have it. Hillers have done such a good job at maintaining possessions and winning possessions. We're at under 9 minutes left now. Hillers are going to take all the time they need. You have to suspect that when Quincy sees the right moment, they're going to rush in and try to get the turnover. Bouvier gets it over to Scanovan. Folks, if you're outside today, definitely bring some water with you. It's a hot one. Looking to close in. It's knocked loose. Picked up by Dacey. Gets it in, and Quincy gets it back for the moment. It was a good scoop up there by Maggie Potts for Quincy. Knocked loose once again. Bella Silva trying to get it back. A battle along the sideline. Here comes Quincy. Stays with the Presidents. Looking to rush in. You have to suspect they're going to shoot quick here. As they trail by 4, and we're approaching 7 minutes left. Campbell with it. Pass over by Tracy. Good feed. Shot. And a nice deflection there by Arnold. Great save by the keeper. It was Grace McGillicuddy with the shot. Quincy trying to work their way back in. Good job there by Sofia Della Copa getting in there, knocking it loose. Hillers have it back. Bella Silva with it. Approaching, Arena feeds it over. Oh, she had a nice angle for a shot there, but I think she was trying to get it over to Tarigny, who was lined up in front of the net. Quincy ball. No, it's taken back by the Hillers. Emily Hayward with the turnover. Dacey with it now. Feeds it over to Silva. Back to Dacey. Now over to Hayward. Hillers going to work it around. We're under 6 minutes left. Hillers hanging on to that nice 4-point cushion. Hillers getting some cheers from the crowd. Knocked loose. Picked up by Silva. Silva looking to close in. Gets it over. It was sent out by Rosendale. Trying to close in. Hayward Feeds it over, shot, and it's deflected towards the end line. It goes to Quincy. We've reached the 5-minute mark. Quincy gonna rush upfield very quickly here. Sierra Fullen with it. Gets it over. Campbell. And another good deflection there by Morgan Arnold, who has just been tremendous in net today. Looking to close in, shot, and it's wide. Picked up by Campbell. Out in front, another shot deflected. And it goes to the Hillers. Tremendous goaltending there. Senid Her with it. Coming up the far side, gets it over to Dacey. Pass up to Rosendale. Back to Dacey. We're under 4 minutes left to go. Joe is hoping there's another half because he is enjoying being out here today. Along the end line. Kendall Tom sends it over. Hiller's just trying to burn that clock at this point. Things are certainly looking good. Dacey trying to battle. It's picked up by Quincy. President's ball. Good defense by the Hillers, and they get the turnover. Katie Bolster. She comes up huge. Now the Hillers going to work on burning some more clock. We're below 3 minutes. Burke sends it up. And is that Arena? That was Arena with a shot and a score. Icing on the cake. That score makes it 12-7 at 2:29 left to go. Hillers looking to hang on, close this game out, and advance. They lead it by 5. Ball knocked loose. Who's going to win it? Hillers have it. Picked up by Hayward. Gets it over. That's Arena. Now to Bouvier. Scanovan. We've reached the 2-minute mark. Silva back to Hayward. Hayward sees an opening. Knocked loose. Here comes Quincy. Stays with the Presidents. Demonopolis with the pass up. Coming up the near side now. Feed out to Nickel. Nickel trying to scoot it in there. There's a shot and deflected, and the Hillers get it back. Tremendous goaltending by Morgan Arnold, especially in the second half. Hillers approaching. Knocked loose. We'll get a reset. Cross check there. Clock stopped at 58 seconds left to go. Well, I think it's safe to say that Hillers are going to be moving on. They'll be taking on first-seeded Lincoln Sudbury. And we get another score. But hold off. Did they wave this off? They waved it off, I believe. False start. We'll do it again. Approaching. And knocked down. There's Hayward on the attempt. Hillers keep it, however. Clock stopped at 39 seconds. Hayward set to approach. Well, speaking of Lincoln Sudbury, who the Hillers are going to be playing next in the postseason, as they get a goal here. That was, I believe, Emma Dacey. But speaking of Lincoln Sudbury, as the score now 13-7 here with 36 seconds left. A wild, wild baseball game last Saturday afternoon. By far, I think the wildest I've ever done in my broadcasting career, but what a fun game it was. Hillers ended up taking the win in the championship game of the Pedroli tournament, 21-19. A 40-run game that featured no home runs, shockingly enough. 40 runs on 40 hits combined. Unbelievable game and a great win by the Hillers to close out the regular season, which makes me think it could be a very fun postseason, especially if the bats are rolling as they were in that game. 20 seconds left, and there's a shot and a score. Delilah Nickel. It's going to be a little too late for Quincy. Makes the score 13-8 with 16 seconds left. You could go back and watch that Hopkinton Lincoln Sudbury baseball game on our YouTube page, youtube.com/HCAMTV. It was also the featured recap on HCAM Sports Talk this week. Whole hour dedicated to that game, and certainly well worth the watch. Quincy moving it up here in the final seconds. 3 seconds. There's a shot and a save by Arnold, and there was a stoppage with a 1/7 of a second left on the clock. But as soon as that whistle blows, that's going to be the end of this one. And the Hillers will be moving on. Looking for a last score there. It's wide, and that's it. The Hopkinton Hillers get the victory here in the preliminary round of the Division I MIAA playoffs by a final score of 13-8 over the Quincy Presidents. A tremendous win by the Hillers, and they are moving on to take on first-seeded Lincoln Sudbury in the next round. A great victory here today for the 32nd seeded Hopkinton Hillers as they improve to 7-12 overall. But that is going to do it for lacrosse coverage here today. For Joe Frackleton on camera, I'm Tom Nappy. The final score for the final time. The Hopkinton Hillers get the victory in the preliminary round over Quincy 13-8 and are moving on to the round of 32. We thank you for watching Hopkinton Hillers Girls Varsity Lacrosse playoff coverage. Take care, enjoy the rest of your day, and we'll talk to you again soon. Goodbye, everybody.